Hello everyone, my name is TheMadScorpyon and welcome to another reset update for Destiny 2. Now, at present, the Dawning has officially ended, which means cosmetics, wintry theme of the tower, the weapons, all of them have, of course, disappeared for now, but will hopefully return with the next Dawning, where Bungie officially learns that we are tired of the old Dawning and would like something different for once. Regardless, with the boosters, we do have some good options, but in one of the most terrible scenarios possible in my eyes. The two boosters are the Nightfall rewards booster, so bonus rewards, as well as the Vanguard rank booster, so it is far easier to just farm out in general, because even if you're going for materials or exotics, you are earning bonus rep and getting additional rewards. However, with the strike currently available, it is not exactly what I'm looking forward to. Now, why this week's farming might actually just plain suck, and that is because it is the liminality strike, which while the strike itself is not impossible, and I've certainly had it easy a few times, there is a modifier that was not active at the very start of the season that is active now in the form of oscillation, which makes it so that if you use specific weapons, they will just gradually lose damage over time, and if you don't pick certain weapons, you will just have permanently reduced damage. I'll get into more details regardless. The strike itself is a little bit tricky here and there. There's certainly large ad spots, but with the combination of some good prismatic loadouts and well-placed teams, this can be a slow as smooth, smooth as fast type scenario. In addition, the ending boss of a Tormentor is usually quite scary, but you know, just keep on your toes and I'm sure you'll be able to get it done at least once. However, the oscillation perk. Basically, if you're using a pulse rifle, scout rifle, or a breech-loaded grenade launcher, you will steadily get reduced damage, and the same can be said with a shotgun or an SMG, unless you keep swapping back and forth between either the scout, pulse, or grenade launcher and the SMG and shotgun. So in this instance, you need to have an SMG and a shotgun and a pulse rifle specifically, or just an SMG and a pulse rifle in that idea. So if you don't have something for incredibly close range, you will have permanently decreased damage values. In addition, if you don't have any of those weapons listed, like a bow or a machine gun, they are just dropped down in damage significantly. Wishender can't one-tap a red bar to the head at full draw to give you an idea of how much damage it decreases. Which, if you don't like the weapons currently available and you want to use an alternate like Ariana's Vow or Wishender like I just mentioned for alternate anti-barrier, guess what? You can't because it is not listed above. So you are restricted heavily in your loadouts. After years and years of Bungie doing all this effort to, you know, open up loadouts and make things easier, this modifier handicaps you for having variety, which I feel like is a really stupid idea. Now, the weapon currently this week is the ARC auto rifle of the Shadow Price, which I do think is a solid enough performing auto rifle. It might have more of a home in the Crucible because it is a stable, longer range version. However, its perk pool, I don't remember it actually being great on this version of it. I remember the first version having more options that felt at least endgame relevant. I remember having something like Unrelenting and Dragonfly, which of course heals and AoE damage. And this time around, I do believe it has Volt Shot, but aside from that, I'm not sure there's exactly many things in the perk pool that exactly make it worth getting, especially in its frame and auto rifle form. But that is just my opinion. Of course, everyone has their own opinions regarding the weapons. Now, aside from that possible trash fire of a strike this week, we do have a set of Crucible modes for variety, the first being Crucible Labs, giving us Doubles Clash, which if you just want a 2v2 team deathmatch, that is currently available in case you just want to, you know, mind-numbingly do a little competitive kind of play. And then for the 6v6, we do have the standard of Control back, as well as the Relic mode, so if you wish to whack people with various relics of Destiny history, you can go ahead and whack people. And with the 3v3s, we have Survival and Competitive for our more comp quick plays, and the usual Rumble all around. And because there is no events or otherwise, Trials will once again be picking up this weekend for a possible Adept weapon if some of you are still hunting it, although I feel like Trials might be more dead than ever. In terms of our weekly featured activities, there are a few good options in case you're hunting red borders or a decent enough exotic, but on the front page for our raids, starting with, we have the Last Wish raid, which might be a little bit of a weird one because there isn't a master mode, there's no adepts, but there is red borders and an exotic you can farm out. But the exotic is a weird one in the fact that you have to kill the boss as many times as you wish, I believe up to 5, and then do another encounter. Aside from that, there is many red borders I would say are certainly worth getting from this raid. The Transfiguration Scout Rifle is certainly a nifty one in case you want something like a kill clip roll for a 2-tap in the Crucible, or otherwise the top tier damage rocket launcher of Apex Predator, and of course the variety of just other good weapons from this raid. In addition, there is also the Vow of the Disciple raid currently up on the featured playlist, which of course is the launching raid with craftable weapons, so all of them are both craftable. And as well, there is a master mode that is available, so if you wanted adept weapons as well, you can of course aim for that instead. And with that, of course, with both of them being featured, they are infinitely farmable in case you want to farm out red borders, challenge modes, or otherwise just get the exotics for your variety of friends. Into the dungeons for this week, going back to the Dreaming City as well, we do have the Shattered Throne available, which is one of those ones that is in the lowest value of earning, because the exotic from this dungeon, the Wish Ender is, you know, a quest-based exotic, so you can only really do it the once, and the variety of weapons, there's no red borders, and they aren't exactly unique because it is just Dreaming City weapons that can be sourced anywhere else in the Dreaming City. In addition to that, it is just kind of a quick one, which it's good for completions and events, but right now, it is only really good for the Pinnacle drop in case you're still on the Pinnacle grind. But next is the Duality Dungeon, which does have a few red borders to hunt in the reprised Menagerie weapons that are located in this raid, as well as an exotic with random drops and Artifice armor available in the Master mode. However, maybe just wait for a little bit of a better week. Duality isn't exactly difficult per se in terms of its master mode, but it lost its cheese farm for the Artifice armor, and in addition to that, it's just a little bit easier to do Grasp of Avarice in my mind. So if you purely want to farm out, this one isn't exactly the optimal week, but it is entirely up to you. However, keeping up the theme with the Cabal though, the weekly featured mission is the Vox Obscura mission, taking us back to Mars for the Dead Messenger, as well as the variety of weapons from Season of the Risen, in case you're still hunting some of the old red borders from Season 16, if I'm remembering all the dates right. But that is the weekly featured activities. Keeping up with our raids, we do have some stat bonuses from both Salvation's Edge and Valor Disciple from their master modes. However, they are both rolling discipline-focused armor, and the Last Wish being old, it doesn't exactly have a master mode to farm out on, so you are only going for discipline if you are seeking the armor from master raids. However, at the top of the list for our raid challenges, we do have Salvation's Edge giving the Balanced Diet challenge, Crota's End still being bugged and not having a challenge unless it is the featured raid, the Root of Nightmares giving Illuminated Torment, which is the first encounter challenge, King's Fall is the hands-off challenge, which I believe is Oryx, thinking about it. The Vile Disciple is the also featured raid, so it has all challenges active. The Vault of Glass is the Templar challenge, and wait for it, the Deep Stone Crypt is Tanix challenge with the Core 4, and the Garden of Salvation is a Link to the Chain, which is, I forget exactly which, but I think it's second encounter challenge. I don't remember for sure. But lastly, the Last Wish is once again featured, so all challenges are active at all points. And the Dares of Eternity wrap up, we do have Hive, Fallen, and Valis Ta'arik for the Expert Mode Dares of Eternity rotation. For week 13 of available seasonal challenges, at the start we basically have just do stuff in the Cosmodrome. Complete bounties, public events, patrols, lost sectors, and you will complete this challenge easy enough. The next is the Rising Ice, which is defeating Scorn with stasis damage in Gambit or Vanguard ops activities, so simply enough, just go a bit icy. The Potent Projectiles for defeating Guardians in the Crucible or Gambit with Scout Rifles, Submachine Guns, Pulse Rifles, Shotguns, or Grenade Launchers. Bonus progress for Shotgun and Grenade Launcher final blows, basically anything modified by our current seasonal artifact. The Midnight Approaches, I almost said Midnight Apocalypse, basically just defeating Guardians with void damage at the Crucible. If Mayhem was around, I'd just say throw Nova Bombs all over the place. But Bank, Kill, Repeat, the usual Gambit challenge of banking modes, defeating blockers, and killing invaders or enemies. And then Precision Calibration for calibrating marksman weapons, specifically Scout Rifles, Snipers, and Linear Fusions by landing precision final blows, and as always, bonus progress landed against Guardians. The Eververse has some nifty stuff going on because they do have some returning emotes to the main store, but there is also a surprise appearance in the Jade Filament set, which a friend of mine told me this was coming, which is basically just a strand armor set, which looks pretty nifty, not gonna lie. It's a little bit weird because the strand effects are half invisible all the time, but it does look pretty cool nonetheless. Regardless, I'm sure if you check your other characters, I will of course share screenshots of what both the Titan and the Warlocks are looking like, but be sure to check the Eververse store in case you were looking for just a strand set of options for your Guardian. But on the front page, we do have a few shaders. First, Chalco's Finery, or Calco, however it's said, which looks a little bit like you're supposed to be chocolate, but also a little bit like you're supposed to be mint. But it's, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it with the look. It's weird. My eyes do and don't like it somehow, but you know, it's the color palettes that usually always change. Then next is the Monochromatic, which is basically just carbon fiber, white and black with a little bit of dark blue, in case you wanted this old one from year one of Destiny, actually, Vanilla Destiny. Next is a Cosmonaut projection, which is basically you with the Taikonaut helmet, but also it is ghost projection, so do you even bother? Next is the Galloping Knight emote, which if you know Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you will pick this up immediately. If you don't, then I don't blame you for not knowing it. It is just an amazing reference that I still am so happy that Bungie made. Comes with noise and everything. The next is the Astro Striders ornament for the Hunters, I believe, Stompies or Frosties. I forget, I think it's Stompies. Yep, it's Stompies, which is not a bad look. And of course, there will possibly be other options for every respective character. Again, I will show screenshots of what is currently available on each respective class, just in case. But into the main store itself, we have some other options on Transmat and shaders. Gloam Strife, which is one of those ones that always just kind of looked weird. And I get it was Season of Arrivals, there was a lot of dark themes, but I don't know what they were talking about with making that one. The next is the Seven Sisters from Season of the Chosen, which is a little bit live according to Bungie. Yeah, no, there's certainly a little bit of an astral effect there, although it doesn't exactly look like the most attractive of color palettes. And next, Heat Shielded, which is a similar case of adding textures, because I do believe most of the white is a soft kind of padded insulation. But otherwise, if you want to look a little bit fiery, this is certainly a good option for you. And last, Erebos Glance, which was basically a lot of black and a bit of orange and a dark orange glow. Solid look in case you want to be a Dark Guardian, but otherwise it's a clean look nonetheless. Into our transmats, we have the Reflection Effects, which is basically Curse of Osiris, but Osiris, the transmat. And Traveler's Wake Effects, which is from the same season, which I believe was supposed to be the Traveler's Explosion at the end of the Vanilla campaign. As well as the Crystalline Breakout from Season of the Witch, which I believe this is you emulating Nezarec and busting out of a Darkness Casket. And for our main items, we have the Grillmaster emote, which is brand new to this season, which is, I imagine just you forking holographic burgers on a grill. And I imagine this one is one that just lasts quite a while, because unless you actually make the burgers yourself, it's just going to keep going and keep flipping, won't it? Yeah, I'll just end it there, and, well, yeah, no, they disappear in an awkward fashion. The next is the Glow Stick Dance, in case you ever just wanted to be, you know, visibly ADHD. I don't know if that's a really good way to put it, but that's it. Then the Wheelie Shell, in case you want your ghost to have a little bit of a racing helmet and look safe and defended against, you know, whiplash and breaking their neck. The Ancient Solar Skiff, which is basically just a, I don't know if I'd say classic, but I'd say a more retro design of space travel compared to what we usually have in Destiny. You know, old Golden Age aeronautics and the like. And the Sunny Day Seeker, which I believe is from a similar idea, but not a different set. But this is a Sparrow, and Sparrows have usually struggled with loading, so I'm going to just show a picture right now, just so you can see what I am talking about. As well as the Aldrovanda, which, full honesty, I think this is really cool considering it was a community voted post, but I also think the community was stupid in voting for another Witherhoard ornament because it has already so many great ones that adding another to the list deprived of another exotic of a possibly great potential ornament. That's all I'm going to say in the matter. But next is the usual projection, which you can just kind of ignore. Old Star Horsey, at least I think that's supposed to be Star Horse, but again, a ghost projection, so do you even care? With the Eververse wrapped up, that is the end of this week's reset update. Of course, the New Year's are upon us, so I wish everyone a Happy New Year. But aside from that, this week of Destiny is looking like it's going to be a bit rough. But then again, Revenant Act 3 picks up next week, so hopefully there's something to do in addition to just finding that new shotgun. With that, my name is TheMadScorpyon, and I will see you in the next video.